What's up, folks? It's Jang here from ultimaterc.com and the URC forums, and I'm back in the workshop again. Hey, that's not what Gene Autry sounded like. I know that. I don't care. This is a very happy time for me because I just went into the garage and I got this big old tub out of the garage for the first time in a long time. First time since my review video, I think. But I got out the E-Maxx. Wow, look at that. I still have the old nickel metal battery packs in there. I didn't even realize I still had a couple extras of those. The long ones, the long flat ones. All right, well, that's all good. But this is really happy for me because this means that I'm starting to get back on track. Doesn't mean I'm getting caught up. I'm still way behind, but remember a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I got that big old haul of 72 pounds of RCs, including a whole bunch of Traxxas RTRs. And this was one of them, and eventually I did, a whole bunch of running videos and all that kind of good stuff, and got out a full review video on the thing. And I was going to do some more to it, do some more to the vehicle, but just haven't gotten around to it. Been gonna do. That should be like a hook for a song or something. Been gonna do. I'll figure out something with that. But I've been needing to get caught up on new content, new material, new stuff, new work on a whole bunch of vehicles, all of those vehicles pretty much. Did a couple of tune-up videos, but I need to do more. But finally, I'm getting to one. So, baby steps. It's a good start, right? Starting from somewhere. I haven't done anything with this since I finished the review, and therefore, it is still broken in two. If I take off just one screw, this entire rear clip will come off, except for, nope, the whole thing will come off. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that just for the sake of it, because it's funny. For all the folks who think that I'm, paid by Traxxas, and I'm a Traxxas fanboy and all this stuff, look at my review of this, this vehicle here, and then sulk in a corner for like a year. Because, looks like I actually need to take out two screws. I completely failed this vehicle on account of its horrible durability, or lack thereof. The very first time that I jumped it, when I started my durability test, it broke. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, it just sucked badly. And it broke again and it broke again. So yeah, Traxxas fanboy who covers for this and says that that's perfectly fine. This is an okay vehicle. No, I don't think so. Well, anyway, still was one of the earlier RCs that I ever purchased. I tried to enjoy it for a long time. I actually had a couple of them back in the day when they were new, well over a decade ago. Got another one. It's still, Traxxas is still a very well-known brand, and for good reason. And this is still their low-end, large-sized monster truck, offering brushed motors, a lot of old design components. They've updated just about everything since the original, but it still needs help, obviously. But I wasn't going to give up on this one completely because I feel like there's still more that could be done with it, including more things to make it more durable so it wouldn't break in two when I simply jump it and do my normal durability testing, or just normal bashing. My original ones, especially the first one, I never did durability testing on that one. Just drove it normally and it still broke a lot. But I still have hope, because I know that especially nowadays we have access to a lot more sensible hop-up parts that are useful and make sense and will make things like this a lot more durable. Such as, these are relatively new to the market from RPM. They're bulkhead sets for the T-Maxx and E-Maxx in their trademark copyright, whatever, super nylon blend that tends to be pretty tough, and these look like they have a pretty solid design. So I'm gonna throw these on there. What else am I gonna throw on there? Oh yeah, got these a long time. I'm just looking into my my box of parts over here, and I had gotten stalkers, but I think I'll just forget those ever existed. Right after the review, I got this set here, Durtrax skid plate set, front and rear. I'm hoping that these will still fit the new vehicle. They may have been designed for the original, but I'm hoping they'll still be compatible with the new one. And these alone will tighten things up dramatically. This was always considered to be one of the first upgrades for an E-Maxx or a T-Maxx back in the day. But that alone may have stopped this from happening, but I'm certain that this set plus these would have stopped it from happening. So I'm gonna go ahead and install these and breathe some life back into this E-Maxx. Surprise! Didn't even know those had broken again. Check that out. Cool. Not cool. And there's the part formerly known as a bulkhead. Didn't even see this had broken also. Oh, there we go. Yeah, way to go. Good stuff. You'll notice anytime that I need to take something apart, I take it apart as little as possible. I just don't like disassembling, reassembling vehicles for the sake of repairing them. Upgrading, cool. But repairing, really don't enjoy that. So, well, it's because I have so many of them. I have to do this stuff so frequently. So I take off as little stuff as I can. You'll see me doing strange acrobatics with different parts and making things come out from places where it doesn't look like they should have been able to come out, just to save myself some time and reduce my chances of losing parts or getting confused of what part went where, what part came from where. And it just makes everything go a lot faster and simpler for me. Anybody wondering what tools I'm using? These are Associated Factory Team. Got the full set. These tips are also Associated. Put your regular 1/4 inch hex. Of course, it helps if you install rear bulkheads onto the rear, not fronts. It's been so long since I worked on E-Maxx, I forgot that they are different. That bottom one is at a really weird angle because this extension here for the brace gets in the way, and the screw is straight through there, behind this, directly in line with it. So you have to use a ball end tip to get to that from one of the sides. All right, there's the RPM bulkhead on one side. See how well that works. These actually do get assembled differently than the originals. These will get actually bolted from, they'll get bolted onto the rear chassis right here. These are holes for nuts. They actually put lock nuts in there, and they include lock nuts with the kit. RPM does. And it's going to be the same story for these ones down here that will connect you to your skid plate. Those get bolted. So screws come in from the bottom, and then you get nuts from the top. And again, they include those nuts. So it's supposed to make the whole thing stronger. I think primarily because they give you more material there. Also, the bolts are not going to back out. Excuse me, back out the way that the stalkers sometimes could. All right, take care of the other side. Ta-da! See, everything's all weird, but comes out nice and neat. Turns out this one was actually starting to break also. There's a nice little hairline fracture right down there. And a few more hits and that would be gone. This here is also opened up. It's part of the flex that allowed that suspension pin to shear off. So this is just all bad. What I'm doing here is not recommended at all, at any time. But in a pinch, it can work. And for somebody like me who doesn't like to disassemble things, to repair them, it's great. I'm bending the shock shaft back into a relatively straight, ooh, wow, I almost got it. Relatively straight orientation without even taking the shock off, without even removing the lower eyelet, which really wouldn't help with this one. You have to take the whole thing off. And even then, the bend is pretty high up on this, so I really need to take the whole shock apart, take the entire shaft out. Or I could just do that. Done. I will deal with shock setup later. In the process of my review, I did change the mounting position from their stock location, which I believe was up here. I moved that. Where is it? Where is it? There. Up here. Move those out to here to their outermost positions, which dramatically stiffens the suspension, also lowers it a little bit, and that helped a ton for just handling in general. So I'm going to leave that alone for the time being, just get this thing put back together, and later on I will work on shock setup. I might change out two. Old trick was to change out two of these to Losi blues, although we didn't have the same geometry, so it's going to be different now. I might also change the shock oil, and once I do get into doing adjustments to the shocks, I will go ahead and install these all the way around, the STRC ultra aluminum caps, which are stock replacements, but they get rid of these plastic caps that have a tendency to flex and pop off. Now, these Duratrack skid plates, which have been on the market forever, they've just updated the packaging. I don't know if they've updated the design at all. It doesn't look like it, but I'm not comparing them to the old ones. These come with self-tapping screws, like wood screws, and that's crap. So and they even have Phillips heads on them. So they don't even look like 3 millimeters. They look like a 2. No, I think they are. They're just not very aggressive 3 millimeters. Anyway, I'm gonna leave these alone. Probably end up throwing them away, and I'm gonna use the original hardware for these attachment points back here, but then I'm gonna use the RPM hardware for attaching into the bulkhead. Yep. There are two different lengths here. They're off by 2 millimeters. So I have to do something that I hate to do. I have to look at the instructions. All right, the longer ones, 22 millimeter, they go to the skid plate. So I'm gonna sort those out first, long ones, and get the 3 millimeter nylock nuts. I'm gonna do one side at a time because I'm doing this off the vehicle. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do I should do the chassis ones first.